they've done such a great job that they've...
Hey everyone, it's Lem. Welcome back to my life. Today I'm on a bit of a mission. I need to leave in a few minutes to go to the Frankfurt Book Fair 2021, which, to be honest, I had no idea if it was actually going ahead this year due to, well, you know, obvious reasons. But it turns out it is. The venue is actually where I got my vaccination done, but usually it's a concert and trade fair building. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how things are different this year. I know a lot of the exhibitors are not going to be there due to, again, obvious reasons. But the reason I'm going in the first place is actually because, out of the blue, I got a message from the Filipino stand, because of course all the different countries exhibit works from their country. And they said, oh, we saw your video from 2019 on YouTube and we liked it, and we wanted to just say, feel free to come back to our stand this year if you happen to be going to the book fair. And then my friend Francesca happened to have tickets and it all came together kind of last minute. And yeah, that's where we're going to go. So I'll see you there. Oh look, this is cool. You can get vaccinated straight on the train now. In case it wasn't obvious, Canada is the guest country this year. Also guys, something really cool happened as I was checking my mail on the way out. I basically entered an Instagram contest and I won. I got to choose any bracelet I wanted from the Never Take It Off site, and Andy Biasak is so hot that I couldn't resist, and so the little fangirl in me is kind of freaking out right now. I won't put it on yet because I have to make a vow first apparently, and also I probably won't be able to tie it knowing me. So yeah, that can wait till later. Welcome to Switzerland. And look who I found! It's a wild Francesca! The first book fair. Cute clouds. And of course we found Arts Edition, just like every year.
Okay, also er hat auch ein bisschen gelernt.
Die gehen ja jetzt nicht weg, weil die Mannschaften nicht da sind. Nur die nicht mehr kontrolliert haben. Und das ist schwierig, das wieder zurückzuholen. Also für mich ist die Maßnahme...
We've come to the International Hall and it does seem a lot emptier than most years, but there's still a good amount going on. I mean, this is the Saturday, so normally it would be packed. People buying lots of books and things, but yeah, this is a manageable level of busy, I think. I can't believe this is the French section. Everyone and everything is gone. Ah. Wow, this is imposing.
Ay, mag-ano na daw tayo,
want to show your favorite?
Yeah, I really love the art style of this. And this book is about the daily commute in the Philippines and sort of the trials and tribulations of getting to work. It's called The King of the Commute. And carry and commute.
Lovely.
Traffic.
My personal favorite, these. No one cares about it anyway.
Beautiful animations there. Animation? What do they?
Art. Drawing. This is definitely the most colorful stand we've seen so far. I
I
think.
know, it really stands out. Even as we were coming down the escalator, I could see it. It was like, oh. Not bad to spot.
It's about the textiles.
Awesome.
Oh, and another favorite.
Mamacita! Delicious recipes. Spring rolls, spring rolls, spring rolls. This is the only thing I tried in the Philippines that I didn't like, and it was made with fish, and I have a bad memory of that. But it was outweighed by everything else. It was so delicious.
You're making me hungry.
I know. Merienda. I'm here at the book fair at the Philippines stand. And I've met a good friend. Do you want to introduce
Yeah,
yourself?
my name is Brian, no? And welcome to the Philippine booth. I'm glad that Lem decided to drop by with her friend. So yeah, welcome to the Philippine booth and welcome to the Frankfurt Book Fair.
You were saying that this isn't the first time the Philippines
Nope.
has been at the book fair, is it?
Nope, this is our sixth time, sixth consecutive time. We want the world to read Filipino stories.
Francesca and I have been looking around all the foreign stalls, and there's a lot of gaps this year, obviously
Yeah.
due to the current situation. Lots of people are not travelling, and so I think it's all the better that you managed to get here this year.
Here's the thing, I watched your YouTube video about the Frankfurt Book Fair and you said that it's a bit loud.
Yeah.
But here, the only people who are allowed there is me and in this booth. No? So it's probably a good thing too. But in all seriousness, I think what's nice about it is that we're able to talk now, like face to face, not a screen, and we're able to just even not shake hands but elbow each other.
Yeah.
That's already enough for me. But the whole point is, the inquiries that have been coming and have been very, let's just say, more directed, more sincere. Another thing, by the way, we're the only Southeast Asian country that have the guts to come here. Yeah.
And it's even more impressive because they're directly opposite the guest countries stand, so that's Canada this year. Canada. And to be honest, I don't want to say anything,
I like
controversial,
Canada.
but I think they've done such a great job that they really stand out a lot more than the Canadian stand.
Noise! Cool.
So we've been having a nice guided tour of the stand and the literature, and there's a lot on offer for all different age ranges.
Correct.
And there's a particular focus on myths and legends.
Yes. Yeah, because there are many books about the country, but we curated the titles because we're trying to compete with a lot of wonderful books here. So we're limiting it to the main themes like myth, magic, and cities. So hashtag now, myth, magic, and cities, and that's what we're trying to promote. We're trying to look at the pre-colonial culture of the Philippines, and we're trying to put it in center stage by putting graphic literature, as part of our main offering.
Is reading very important to you personally?
Me, just a disclaimer, I'm working the book board, but I'm also a tour guide. That's why when I did a small tour with you guys, because people ask, Brian, what kind of books do you recommend for me to read about the Philippines? So, as a tour guide, I have to really dig deep on what I know. Otherwise, I won't be credible and people won't believe me. So,
True.
Yeah. So, traveling around, so that's why we selected a lot of titles. That's, what works. Yeah. But, I like comics. I like comics. That's why a little bit of bias about the graphic literature part. Yeah.
So you work for the Book Board of the Philippines?
It's a mouthful to say. It's called NBDB.
NBD.
Yeah, see, National Book Development Board.
Right. Okay.
So we just call it the book board.
So what is the aim of the NBDB? Is
Well-
it just to sort of distribute Filipino literature?
It's also one aspect. You're correct on that one. So the other thing is that we want to encourage authorship and readership. And I think if we're doing our job is really to spread, of course, Filipino stories, but at the same time we also need to write about ourselves because as a country that has been colonized for like centuries, we wanted to tell our own stories because of the things that we excel at. And it builds on like the identity thing. You're more confident about yourself. So these are the things that we're trying to focus on. A bit serious, but that is true. Really true. Yeah. It's confusing sometimes. Is it Filipino enough? No? Because my name, Brian Ocampo, it's... Look at me, I mean, am I Brian enough? It's confusing.
I mean, myself being sort of mixed heritage,
And
sometimes it's
cool.
difficult to... Well, I think it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, you have the accent, man. I mean, the accent.
Yeah, sometimes it's difficult to know, like, do I concentrate enough on one side of my heritage?
You don't really have to do this. It's just be happy, no? I mean, I'm comfortable, like whatever it is. I mean, I speak to you with an accent, English, Filipino accent.
Yeah.
My lovely Filipino accent. But I'm okay with that. And the whole point is just to enjoy.
And that's something I've noticed a lot about the Philippines. Is
Too much enjoyment. Too much.
I don't know about too much.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much.
They're always happy.
It's too much. It's too much.
They're always happy.
Always happy. Too much happy.
Is there such a thing as too much happy?
Sometimes we forget to work. That's why. We celebrate too much. That's why. If you don't notice, we have too many holidays sometimes. It's I notice.
Yeah, we need more of that here in Germany.
Yeah, that's true.
I second that.
No, Francesca says I second that.
I agree.
You guys have like nice trains, very efficient, everything.
I don't know about the trains.
You complain a lot. I showed you earlier the comics about commuting in the Philippines. Try doing that, no? And I'm just thankful the train comes on time and it's clean. It's just nice. Developed world's benefits.
Pros and cons. It's been great to talk to you.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for having us here.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I'm just glad that I hope that doesn't really sound creepy, but I just watch your video so that I get to pool here and also hopefully
Happy to have a fan.
It means that visit us more maybe in a couple of years, more the following years. Yeah, please visit. Yeah, you too, Francesca. Bye.
Thanks. Here, I've had the pleasure to meet the author of two wonderful books. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Les Chavez Bernstein, and I authored two books. One was published a few years ago, my first poetry collection. It's titled Without Rhyme, A Poet's Story. So each poem here is a collection of 100 poems, and each poem covers a timeline that I have lived through. So each poem is a story that connects to the next story. So it's a story, life story of mine set in poetry. I started writing poetry since I was 12. So this was in fact a late accomplishment for me because it happened about 2 decades later. The other book is my first nonfiction. It's titled In the Typhoon's Eye. And the typhoon here, the reference to typhoon is both metaphorically and also actual.
Yeah, literal.
So it's the actual typhoon, and I also use this as a metaphor, referring to the story of my life. But this memoir I consider a childhood memoir all the way to my young adult age. The last page of the book depicted the scene at the airport in Manila when I left my country. So now my next project is, I believe, is a sequel to this story because my readers said, "What happens to you in America?
Yes,
we
they
want to
want to
know
know what happens next."
How did you come from? How did you go from this life in a remote place in the Philippines to a classical singer who performs internationally? How did you do that?
Multi-talented, wow.
So, and they can believe what I went through when I was a kid, because there's a lot of cultural depictions here and scenarios. And some is a little bit scandalous, some are just cultural, and so it's very graphic.
Sounds so interesting. Thank you for sharing that. This kind of story sort of resonates a lot with me because, of course, my own mother was born and raised in the Philippines, and then when she met my father, then that was when she made the decision to move to the UK and was immersed in this brand new culture and lifestyle, and she didn't know anybody. She's talked to me a lot about that initial kind of adjustment process. I wonder how you experienced that.
With difficulty in the beginning, and then you start to lighten up. And sometimes misinterpretations of the way the foreign people, or the Americans, because that's where I landed, when I first left home, misinterpretations of what they mean when they say certain expressions, which is maybe it sounded too harsh for me, coming from the Philippines, but they really didn't mean to be harsh, so. And after a while, I understood, and I understood the culture, and I started adopting the good parts of that culture, and I started discarding the parts of my old culture that I decided as an adult, no, I don't want that anymore. So it's a fusion.
In a way, it gives you a freedom, doesn't it, to choose who you want to be, and which influences you want to take from which cultures, and
it's very liberating.
I think so. Yeah. Even Francesca and I can both kind of attest to that because, neither of us are from Germany, but we both now live in Germany.
You both live in Germany. Oh yeah.
We too have had to adapt and.
It's a little different. Different from Americans.
Very different
from
personality types and just different everything.
Yes.
But I find, you put down roots and you grow as a person, you change. So.
For the better.
I hope so.
Yeah. For the better.
Yeah. So whereabouts in America do you live?
In Florida. Wow. That's my home state. Yeah. All my children are there.
Oh, wonderful.
We have 4 grandchildren. I miss them because I adopted this lifestyle with my husband because he works for the American State Department as diplomatic security department. So we lived here 7 years ago for 3 years, and now we came back a year ago and lockdown. So little by little, 2 months ago, we started coming out, and we have another 2 years here. So this is my home right now.
A home away from home.
A home away from. I have so many of those. Trust me.
We're all becoming so international nowadays, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Especially
I've heard someone, I'm not sure who said it, but home is no longer a place, but it's more like a state of mind, bring it with you. Okay, this is my home. This is my home. It doesn't have to be tied down to geographical location.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much for speaking with me today. It's been lovely to meet you.
Me too. It's a pleasure. Yeah.
So we can keep in touch.
Yes.
Hey guys, it's a couple of days after the book fair now, and you're back on my blogging shelf in my flat. First, let me show you my autumnal decor. So I just wanted to kind of sum up this year's book fair experience with my closing thoughts. I had a really fun time this year, considering how last minute everything was, and that I didn't even know it was going to go ahead for sure. What I like about the Buchmesse website is that they list all their statistics for that year, so the number of visitors and how many different countries they came from, etc. And you'll find that this year there were only a fraction of the number of visitors and exhibiting countries that you'd normally have, but I still feel like, despite the circumstances, they managed to put on a really, really good event. I mean, it was quite a unique experience for me to do something like interviewing, which I've never done before, and I really think if I'd had more time to prepare for it, I would have stressed out so much I'd probably have talked myself out of doing it in the first place. So it was really kind of a step out of my comfort zone.
Am I too loud?
No, I'm too quiet.
You're fine.
You're fine, you're fine.
The one that I'm very glad I took, because I met some lovely new people and got to record new content for this channel. So that's a good thing. It kind of got me out of the rut I've been in with the channel. Sometimes I feel as though I upload things and I put a lot of time into editing and then nobody ever really sees them. But the fact that someone on the other side of the world actually saw my video and reached out because of my content is quite amazing to me. Little bit of bonus content here. Let me show you the goodies I got. And we were so lucky to be gifted some really lovely things, which I'll show you now. You've got the ubiquitous tote bag. You can't be a German unless you have at least 50 of these in your cupboard. Or maybe not 50, that's quite a lot. But reusable, strong, sturdy, beautiful. Look at this gorgeous colour. And what we really liked when we had a look is that they have an inner pocket as well. Snazzy. We were also allowed to take a copy of this really cool Grid magazine. The hefty tome, it's a bit like, it reminds me a bit of National Geographic or something with the kind of photojournalistic style. There's a quote from Robert Louis Stevenson: "There are no foreign lands, it is the traveller only who is foreign," which I like. And last but not least, we were also given these cute little chocolate bars. The brand is Filo and Filo. Calm down, Lens. And this is actually milk chocolate adobo. And if you don't know, adobo is a kind of sauce which is used as a marinade in Filipino dishes. And it's delicious. You have to try it, really. It's got vinegar, tomatoes, garlic, and a whole mix of spices. For instance, when I was in the Philippines, we would go to the mall and we would get adobo pork, adobo chicken, that kind of thing. So to have it in something sweet, I'm kind of like, how is that going to work? Milk chocolate with soy sauce toffee and black pepper. They say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach and the way to a woman's is through chocolate. I mean, they are not wrong. Let's give this a go. This actually reminds me of a kind of, you know when you get like a stock cube, the kind of foil wrapping reminds me of that. I wonder if that's done on purpose. Probably not, but... Whoa. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting that. How do I even describe that to you? I personally love when chocolate makers mix sweet and savoury. That just absolutely, mwah, chef's kiss. So if you've seen the Milka bars that have tuck crackers in them, that's like my favourite because it's sweet and salty all at the same time. And this is like that, but kind of on steroids. It tastes quite dark, if that makes sense. You can taste like actual chips of caramel, which are not caramel flavoured. They really do taste like soy sauce. It's quite savoury. It's not the kind of bar that you could binge all in one go, which for my purposes is great because that's what I have a habit of doing. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed my video. It was something a little bit different. I'd love it if you could show your support with a comment, a like, a share, a subscribe maybe even. I'm looking forward to recording a bit more content for you now. I have some things in the works, so you're going to have to stay tuned for those. Thank you again to everyone who made this video possible, and I'll see you in the next one. Royal Valor!